Okay, so I'm going over problem 1 from section 10.5, and the reason why I wanted to go over this problem is because in my computer programming class, I'm working on traversing through trees, so I have to be able to understand these types of questions very well. So let's look at question A, where it asks, what is the level of V8? So the level of V8 would be the amount of edges between the root and V8. So let's first identify the root. So the root in the tree would be V0, so let's label that root. And then we're trying to find the amount of edges between V0 and V8. So first edge would be from V0 to V1. The second edge would be V1 to V5. And the third edge would be V5 to V8. So there are 3 edges between V0, which is the root, and V8, which means the level of V8 is 3. Now let's check the level of V0. So again, the level is the amount of edges between the root and whatever node that we're trying to find the level of. So first, let's identify the root again. So the root is V0. And because we're looking for the level of V0, and there's 0 edges between V0 and the root, which is also V0, then the level of V0 is 0. Okay. Next, it's asking for the height of the tree. So we start off at the root, and the root starts at level 0. Now, anything that is a child of the root would be level 1. So V1 and V2 are children of V0, so they would be at level 1. Now, the children of V1 and V2 would be the nodes that are at level 2. So let's look at the children of V1 first. The children of V1 are V3, V4, and V5, so those would be at level 2. And then the child of V2 is just V6, so that would be at level 2. Now let's look for the children of the nodes that are at level 2. So V3 has one child, V7, so that would be level 3. V4 has no children, so there's no level 3 extending from V4. And then V5 has 2 children, V8 and V9, so those would be level 3. Now let's look over here, and let's see, the children of V6 are V10, V11, and V12, so those would also be at level 3. And now those are all the nodes at level 3. Let's check for level 4. V7 doesn't have any children, so no level 4 there. V13 is a child of V8, so that's level 4. And then V10 next, the children are V14, V15, and V16, so those are level 4. And then V12 has one child, V17, so that would also be at level 4. Now, the only ones that haven't been labeled yet are V18 and V19, which are children of V17. So these would be level 5. So, because 5 is like the highest numbered level, it is also the height. So the height of the rooted tree is 5. Now let's erase all these marks and move on to question D. What are the children of V10? So the children of V10 are the ones that are directly adjacent, but also below V10. So the ones directly adjacent are V6, V14, V15, and V16. But they also have to be below V10. So V6 is above V10, so that's not a child. But everything else is below V10, so we know that V14, V15, and V16 are children of V10. So let's write that here, V14, V15, and V16. Okay, give that an erase. Question E, what is the parent of V5? So let's check. If V5 is a child, then who would its parent be? The parent would be the one that's directly adjacent and above V5. So let's look. The ones that are directly adjacent are V8, V9, and V1. But V8 and V9 are below V5, so those are the children of V5, not the parent. The one that's above is V1, so we know that V1 is the parent of V5. Oops. Okay, next, F. What are the siblings of V1? So the siblings are the ones that share the same parent node as V1. So first, let's find V1 right here. And the parent node of V1 is V0. So let's label that parent. So let's look at V0's children. V0's children are obviously V1. And then the other child is V2. And because V2 and V1 share the same parent node, which is V0, that means they're siblings. So the sibling of V1 is V2. Next, you ask for what are the descendants of V12. So descendants are anything below V12. It doesn't have to be directly adjacent. It can be anything below V12. So let's look at V12 here. Anything directly below is V17, V18, and V19. So that means that these are the descendants of V12. So V17, V18, V19. And then how many leaves or terminal vertices are on the tree? So that means terminal vertices or leaves means that they have no child nodes. So let's check what doesn't have children. So V7 doesn't have a child, so that's 1. V4 doesn't have a child, 2. V13, 3. V9, 4. V14, 15, 16 is 5, 6, 7. Then V11 is 8. V18 is 9. And then V19 is 10. So that means that there are 10 leaves on the tree.